morning. This is Jovine from Behind the Markets. Happy Wednesday. Today is January 8th. And usually I'd be talking about the markets or something like that, but today I have something more akin to a public service announcement here. In 2019, right around the end of 2019, I watched as COVID started outbreaking across China. And I watched, because again, not only am I an investor, not only am I very focused on China, but I am also very focused on biotech. I'm very focused on these kinds of things when things like this happen. And I watched as that happened, and I told my friends ahead of time, and anybody that would listen, that this thing in China, they are literally bodies piling up, they're shutting down cities, they're building hospital tents, hospitals are overwhelmed, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, we know what happened the following year. COVID just came and crashed on our shores in 2020 and really changed a lot, which led to a whole bunch of other things, including lockdowns and all this other stuff. A lot of deaths, millions and millions of deaths, and of course, crazy government spending. Today, there is this mystery outbreak, disease outbreak in China is overwhelming hospitals again. And what we're talking about now is the HMPV virus. This outbreak is now raising alarms, and it's like a flu, which means it's pretty dangerous for young people, the elderly, and vulnerable groups, people with immune-compromised systems. And it's really starting to break out heavily across China, basically. And it's really, you're starting to see packed hospital rooms, mask-wearing adults, children running in. And this is crazy. Now, normally, why would I talk about something like this on a daily diary that's really supposed to be market related? Obviously, it could have tremendous impacts on the market. But the other reason is I don't see the mainstream media covering it. And this is an important thing to talk about. I don't see the mainstream media covering it. And frankly, this can have massive effects on the market. But most importantly, this is about our health. And my job, if anything, is to tell you about things that I see coming before they happen. That's the whole point, right? That's why I do what I do. Whether it's bonds rising and really putting a lot of stress on the stock market, which is happening now, whatever it is, whether it was in 2019 and we saw COVID starting to come and we were very early here as humans talking to our friends about it, but also as investors, which helped us weather the worst of COVID financially with flying colors, frankly. We did well. I hate to talk about COVID in financial terms because I know people who died from it, but we did weather that financially, certainly in my friend group, the people that actually listen to us. We don't know if this is coming. We don't know when it's coming, but the spread of things is pretty radical these days. We're talking about another respiratory virus here, which doesn't look pleasant, HMPV, this China virus outbreak. It's now raising alarms. Other countries are looking at it. I guess our government or the media here is watching it, but they have an incentive not to really raise alarms publicly because who on earth wants to create panics and stuff like that? But I think it's very important that our readers and our viewers know what time it is. You know, this is one of those things that I want to put on my risks for 2025, but it's interesting. The more China develops, these backward towns with these backward practices, like these markets, these wet markets, or these viruses, whatever, the more they develop, the more their viruses actually make it out of China and into the West. And one of the things I remember thinking about during COVID is that basically Woodstock was held during a pandemic, the Hong Kong flu, but people weren't thinking of the world like that, like they are now in the media, and it wasn't as connected as it is now. But that was held during a pretty serious pandemic itself, and obviously we had COVID. So today I just want to give a little bit of a sober public service announcement. Again, just another risk factor that we have to consider and something that I thought you should know about. I can't sit here and read about this every single day and not talk to you about it. That seems like I'd almost be holding something from you. That seems that it could become important. And it's not in my nature to hold important things from people, especially you guys. Anyway, that's all I have today. I will see you tomorrow. And by the way, I will keep you abreast of this story.